Hi, this is Shane with Fish on Review. Today I'm going to show you how to resurface and refinish an old wood stock for a Ruger 1022. My wife wants a pink gun, and I'm not going to do that to mine, so I bought this old stock and I'm just going to refinish it. That way I can slap the guts into the new stock and she can have her pink gun. We'll see what happens. Alright, so here's this old beat up stock I bought online. Paid 30 bucks for it. It's pretty beat up. Well, I paid 30 bucks for the stock, and then guy threw in a barrel, which is in decent shape. But we'll get to that later. This thing has seen better days. It's a little scratched and pitted. We'll see if we can take that out in the refinishing. But other than that, it's in decent shape. We'll see if we can make it nice and pretty and pink. But I have a feeling I'm going to talk her into a red stock. That way maybe I can shoot it. I don't feel like changing it out. But I don't want to be seen at the range with the pink gun. You know what I'm saying. We're going to use some citrus strip. It's safe for indoor use. It works pretty well. I've used it before. You know, it doesn't all come off in one shot, but I have way more time than money, so this is cheap. It's easy to use. I can use it in the man cave, as you can see by all my beer cans. Yes, we are in the man cave. We'll see if we can make this gun nice and pretty and pink. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is put on some gloves. Stuff says it's fairly safe, but I can't imagine what it would do to your skin if it strips paints and oils out of wood. So put on some gloves and slather it up. I'll show you that step next. Alright, so what we're going to do is put some of the citrus strip into a dish. I just use a plate. Directions say use a metal container. That's not going to happen. Put some gloves on, and I stole these from a doctor visit. Come in handy. So anytime you're in the doctor's, feel free. You're paying for it. And just slather it up. Get it everywhere. Coat it very well. You can't really use too much. You want to cover the whole entire gun. And do it right the first time so you don't have to do it a million times. But make sure you wash your paintbrush out real good after you're done, so that way you can reuse it. It doesn't get all stiff and nasty. And just really lather it up. I put some wax paper down so I don't get my workbench all messed up. I can just toss it. Also, I don't have to worry about laying the gun down flat. We're just going to get this greasy crap everywhere and let it do its thing. Doesn't have to be perfect, just get it every nook and cranny, and we'll see if we can get this in 1 or 2 shots. I'd like to get it in 1 because I'm impatient. Alright, I'll see you on the other side. I got the gun completely covered in this citrus strip junk. You can already see where it's starting to bubble up a little bit. I'm going to let it do its thing for at least a half hour. Probably an hour, got time. You can see by the paintbrush that it started to turn brown. It's already drawing all that stain out of there. That's good. That is good. So I'll be back in a good hour or so, let it do its thing, and we're just going to strip this crap off, see what it looks like underneath. Alright, I've let this thing go for a good hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Had a few beers, so we'll see how this video proceeds. Okay, as you can see, it's looking quite crusty and yucky, which is exactly what I wanted to see. And I'll start peeling this stuff off. Let's try to get some of this crusty crap off of here as much as possible without getting the hose out or the scrub brush. I'm just going to use paper towel and start wiping along with the grain. The directions say to use a plastic scraper, which I guess I could do if I had one. But I don't think it's necessary, actually, as long as you have enough paper towels handy. Stuff should start wiping right off. As you can see, the gun, it's already looking a lot lighter. I'm going to take as much of this crap off of here as possible. I'm going to give it another coating of the citrus strip. Alright, this is what the gun looks like after the first coat of citrus strip. You can see that it's much lighter, and the damage that was done to the stock seems to be pulling out of the wood grain. That's just from the moisture that was in the stain remover. So the wood grain is kind of puffing up a little bit. There's some really dark areas still. I'm going to do another layer of the citrus strip, and then I'm going to give it a nice sanding without taking too much of the wood off. I even stained inside, did the stain remover inside. Looks like whoever stained this gun last stained the inside as well as out, and I figured I might as well do the same thing with the red, because yes, I get to paint it red. I have permission. Alright, so I'm going to put the stain remover back on and let it sit for a little longer and take it off again. See you in a sec. Alright, we're back. I let it sit overnight, not by choice, only because I drank too much and passed out. But regardless, I let it sit overnight, and let's see what we have. Alright, as you can see, it's dry. It's covered in this crust, and it's completely dry. Maybe not so much on the back end. Now it's time to scrape it off. I'm not going to be able to use paper towel like I did with the previous coat, and I don't have a plastic scraper. But what I do have, a little plastic knife. I filed down the serrated edge on it so I didn't score the wood, but I think I'm still going to try to use the back end of the knife. We're on day 3, and I took about as much of the stain off as I could with that citrus strip. It's about as good as it's going to get. I'll show it to you in a second. Next up is going to be a light sanding, maybe more than light in some places, and then we'll get on to color. Alright, I'm going to start with some 220 grit, little square to get me going. I'm going to take my time and just try to knock off some of the darker spots. Without, I don't want to take too much wood off. I still want it to be a stock, factory stock, stock. But I figure I'll start with a little heavier grain and see how it goes.